In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Steph Curry and his updated basketball shooting form. Now, of course, every player shoots differently, and of course, even the best shooters change their form over the years. So let's get down. Let's check out Steph Curry because a lot of people have been asking for this. Now, really quickly, make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below so that you can extend your range so that you can shoot from further away. Let's get down. Let's check out Steph Curry. And if you like the idea of this app where I can write on top of the screen, go check out Coach Lens. That is also down in the description too. Okay, so what do we see that Steph Curry is doing in this clip? Well, first off, what we do see is something that is very important, and that is he really doesn't have that much of a gap between his palm and the ball. He's actually really well known for having no gap at all. And then when he does release, he does have a slight thumb flick still in today's game. However, he has already released this thumb flick and the ball is still in the fingertips of his shooting hand, which means that the thumb flick is not affecting that shot. It would affect the shot if you were releasing the shooting hand and the thumb flick at the exact same time. Now, this next clip is really important because now we can actually see look at how wide his shooting hand is on the ball. We also notice that his shooting hand is on the side of the ball when he's going up into his shot. This is extremely important. And then he gets the hand underneath the ball at the last second. He brings the ball up the middle of his body, which is why the hand is on the side of the ball and then goes underneath the ball right before he shoots. It's also really important to see the fact that when he's releasing that ball, he's releasing with the pointer and middle finger. This is going to allow it to be a very straight shot because, as we can see, his hand is to the right side of the ball. There's a lot of mistakes that younger players make trying to center their hand on the ball. You don't want to center the hand on the ball because your pointer finger, then you'll have your middle finger, then you'll have your ring finger, and then you'll have your pinky finger, and then you'll have your thumb out here. If you release off of just one finger, that ball could go left or it could go right. If you release off of two fingers at the same time, for example, the pointer and middle finger, the ball has to be more offset. Because now, having that ball offset, you're going to allow this ball to go off of these two fingers at the exact same time. Now, if you shot with your elbow out, let's say you had some kind of an injury where you needed to shoot out. For example, if you broke this finger, you would want the ball to go off of the middle and ring finger, in which case the hand has to move over just a bit and your elbow has to be out so that the ball has to go off of these two fingers. But that's only if you break that finger. We've seen this with Kobe Bryant. When he broke that finger, he offset his elbow, shot off of these two fingers instead of these two, and he was still able to play. Now, even on these turnaround jumpers, what else do we see with his shot? His shoulder and elbow are in line with the basket. This is a very important tip that I can give every player. Now, on this turnaround shot, he does bring the right leg up. That is how you get your right side in line. And then he's able to go up for his shot and still have the exact same release as if he was going up for a set shot. This is because he was able to get that right knee up slightly, but just by getting your right shoulder and elbow in line, you're going to be a very successful shooter. In fact, if you just focused on getting your elbow and shoulder in line with the rim, no matter where your body orientation is. So for example here, Curry is very offset. He's normally got a little bit of an offset. His right shoulder is always going to be in front of his left. However, turning to this side, in which case he needs to still just get that right shoulder and right elbow in line with the rim and have this ball at least slightly over top of his upper arm or shoulder. You will notice that at least a quarter of the ball will be over top of this section, which will create that shooting triangle that I always talk about, which will give you a straight shot. Now, I have noticed that Steph Curry's hand does seem to go more on top of the ball than it used to, which could be why he's been having the games where he's like 0 for 9. That is a potential possibility. He's changed this guide hand, but I would assume that that may change once again once he's able to analyze that this is not working for his shot. He's able to shoot with his release with his elbow above his forehead, which is going to allow him to have good arc on his shot. And shoulders, hips, knees are all in the same direction as well. We can also see that the drop on this ball is almost perfect. So if we were to draw out where this ball is going to drop, it is dropping at the roughly 41-degree range. Now, why is this important? Well, I've mentioned in other videos, if you're between 40-ish to about 45%, that's the optimal angle for that ball to drop. The reason being is if you drop from too high of an angle, if the ball hits the rim, there's a greater chance of it bouncing out. If the ball drops at a too low of an angle, it's not going to see the rim as a big enough target and it's going to bounce out. If you've got the in between that 40 and 45 degree drop, that is going to give you the ability to hit that rim and still bounce in while not being low enough where that rim just doesn't look big enough to the ball. Because if the ball is coming in, let's say at a straight angle, that rim is going to look like this, while the ball is this big. However, if the ball is dropping perfectly straight down, that rim may look really big, but the gravity and pressure or power behind that ball, if it hits that rim, is going to bounce out. Now, if you get a good 40-ish degree angle, that rim is going to look like this, and there's a greater chance that it's going to bounce in if it hits the side of the rim. Steph Curry's footwork is also very good, and we really should look at his whole entire body as a whole. A lot of the times, he's either dribbling or coming off of a screen or a dribble handoff towards the left side. This is because any right-hand shooter, if they're going to the left side, they're going to have a faster, higher percentage shot, because this will allow them to have their tilt that most shooters already have. He's got a perfect tilt. His knees are coming together, but a lot of really great basketball shooters do have their knees come together. And then when he comes and goes up from his gather up into his set point, the ball goes up the middle of the body. Now, I know a lot of older school coaches and still even younger coaches today will always say that ball has to go up that right side only. And I know there's a lot of coaches who say this because one tried to mess up the shot of one of my players and it didn't go very well for him. And he's going back up the middle of his body and he's getting back to that 50% range from three, and he just hit a massive buzzer beater from like Curry range the other day. So going up the middle of your body is totally fine in my books as long as you get this in line and the ball over top of there so that you create that triangle. Now, we really should talk about energy transfer as well, because now we're going from roughly 90-degree knees to maybe a 60 or 70 degree hips. So we're engaging that lower back, we're engaging the Achilles, we're engaging the quads, we're extending and lifting the ball at the same time. A lot of players make the mistake where they lift the ball and then they load their body. This is taking your power away. You want to extend your body at the same time as bringing that ball and extending that ball from gather into set point. Now, Steph Curry does shoot with a one motion shot, in which case he is going to be, of course, not stopping at a set point. He's doing all one motion straight up into his shot, and he has a soft release as we see right here. That soft release is extremely important because that's what gives him the arc. However, he's still getting really good backwards rotation on that ball so that when it does hit the rim, it hits it softly. And then when he does go towards his right side, watch this. He catches that ball off the right foot, 2-foot gather, and then he's on his toes. This is engaging those Achilles, which is going to allow him to get up into the air much faster. Overall, Steph Curry is a fantastic shooter. There is a reason why he is the greatest three-point shooter of all time. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Make sure to go check out my basketball shooting workout that is down in the description below, but also make sure to go check out this app where you can draw on top of the screen. Anyways, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in my next video.